What's good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's going on with the overall market, what you should be watching for as time progresses. I'm also going to talk about some very important levels on Tesla, SPY, and a couple of other tickers, and break down some very important technicals on SPY. Before I do anything like this, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, the link down below, and deposit $100 into the account, you're guaranteed up to 5 free stocks. The offer ends in just about 15 hours from now, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, let's break down what's going on with the market. So looking at SPY, this thing ended up coming down. We got a little pop and a drop as we were anticipating in the morning. We saw some weakness, but now the market's trying to recover and make its way back up. And we're pretty much just trading in the 450 area, just going back and forth and back and forth. We're not showing too much strength or too much weakness. So the question is, how will the market move? And here's some very important levels to watch for. So looking at the daily charts on SPY, it's very important to watch this resistance. We have 452 as a very critical resistance up here. This is where we got a rejection right here in the past. The question is, are we about to form a doge, or are we looking at a topping process, or are we just going to like pop a little bit and start coming down? Or do we end up breaking 452? If we manage to do so, we're going to likely try to fill this gap at 455. And I could see it going to a maximum of 457 before we get a rejection. So it all depends on how we end up reacting to 452. And it's going to depend on what we see from the markets from there. It's going to be very important to watch how the market moves from this point on. In my opinion, we're going to be watching this daily close as well. We could be forming a doji on the daily, so you just want to be very careful. And it's always important to be patient. So if we break 452, we're going to be bullish. We're going to see one more leg up, and the market's going to pump higher before we get the rejection at 455 to 457, most likely. Or if we fail to break 452, we could reject from very close to where we are. So we're going to be watching these levels very carefully. We have a possible distributive structure developing on the 5-minute time frame, which suggests that the market could be topping soon, but it all depends on if we break 452 or not. On top of that, I just wanted to call out that we're just trading very sideways at this 450 area. Resistance is starting to get tighter, and this is one of the things I was warning you about in the morning. So with that happening, just watch this area. It's kind of boring right now, just going back and forth in the 450s, not really doing much. We'll be watching to see how it reacts to initial jobless claims and some unemployment data going into tomorrow. For Tesla, this was a bit stronger than what I thought in the morning. We actually saw this thing pop a little bit more. Now we're starting to form this flag right over here. We'll be watching to see if Tesla could break out of this or not. It's going to be very important to watch this. For Tesla, the overall technicals are not looking bad for it. It's been holding up quite nicely, outperforming the market to some extent. And Tesla is still showing strength after filling this gap. So it's going to depend on whether or not this thing could try to like continue pushing to this like 250 area or not. That's going to be very key for it. If we end up breaking the high of the day, that's going to be our next level. But we have some tight resistance up there at 250. And if we end up losing, for instance, this like 238 support, we could start sinking to fill this gap down here. So we're kind of in the middle with Tesla. It's showing more strength than the market, so it might try to hold up for the time being. But let's just see if we could try to close around here. And Tesla could get one more push to like 250 before rejecting. As of right now, it's holding up nicely. Now on the QQQ, the daily is not looking the best. This looks like we might see, a rejection soon. But just to be safe, we have to be watching for our technicals. So I just want to call out something about the QQQ that's looking a bit bearish. We have a possible head and shoulders developing on the triple Q. Let me just pull up the chart just to show you. The triple Q could be developing a head and shoulders. If we reject here at this 386 area, we could see this thing start sinking going into tomorrow, back down to 383. And our head basically was like where this topping candlestick was, especially with this wick right here, going into like the pre-market. So this could be a topping signal for the QQQ, suggesting that the market's going to pivot soon. This is suggesting that, so you just want to be very careful. This could lead to some downside. Now, if we end up breaking 388, we're going to turn bullish, but we're not even that close to that. We're currently at 386. So we're going to be watching this carefully. There is a risk to the downside on the QQQ. And don't forget to watch this resistance like from right here. This is also going to be another key area to just be watching for. If anything, guys, watch these levels. Let's just see where this thing closes for the time being. There is a risk of some downside on the QQQ compared to the other stocks out there. And one thing that's dictating this would be Nvda. Nvda has been showing some weakness. I called this out in the morning. I was talking about how Nvidia could pop towards this 500 area, but we might reject off of this if we fail to break it. And that's what ended up happening. We failed. I told you if we lose this 495 support, expect it to come all the way down to 490 or even below that. And we just continue to come down to lower supports. Nvidia is showing some weakness, and this is leading to the market slowing down a bit. Now, the SPY is not that weak. The QQQ is like looking a little weaker, has some more bearish potential. But just to be safe, we're going to be watching some critical supports. On Nvidia, we're watching this 488 zone to 490. That's basically where it's kind of like it's been chopping around for some time. And an important support if we do get a rejection is going to be 485, then 482. If we lose that, 480 is going to be the next level. For now, Nvidia is kind of just chopping around, kind of range trading, not really doing a whole lot. We're going to be watching to see how it closes and how it looks on the daily by then. All right, guys, so that's pretty much it for the main ones except for Aapl. Looking at Aapl, this is kind of flat for the time being, not really doing that much. We have this like channel that's been developing as this thing is continuing to pop. But we're going to be watching to see if we break in either direction. There was some strength in the morning, getting a nice pop of some bullish news, but we're approaching this tight resistance between 189 and 190, and that's kind of stopping this thing for the time being. So it's kind of trading sideways between support and resistance. You could see how it's just going back and forth between this 188.5 and 189 area. So if we lose this support right here in the 188s, that's where this trend line happens to be, we're going to turn more bearish. But for now, it hasn't done that, so it's still holding up and kind of shopping around for the time being. If you want to turn bullish, you want to see this thing break above 189.5 and eventually 190. If it breaks 190, it's going to turn bullish. For now, it hasn't done that. It's just continuing to chop around, so make sure you watch these levels. All right, guys, so we'll be watching to see which way SPY goes. If it breaks 452, it could go higher. There could be more upside coming, but just know that the QQQ has a possible head and shoulders. And with Nvidia looking a little weaker, we're going to be watching this area very closely. SPY has 452 as a resistance to watch for. If we break it, we're going to turn bullish. If not, it is what it is. The market could start to pull back a bit. As for Tesla, like I said before, could pop a little bit more. We're going to be watching 250's resistance. Let's see if Tesla can break that or not going into tomorrow and beyond. And then for today specifically, okay, we're going to be watching this very, very tight range. It's very tight right now. Not looking super strong, not looking super weak either, just in the middle, going back and forth between supply and demand. So watch this support at 240. Let's see if Tesla could hold that. And we're just kind of trading sideways around the 242.5 to 244 area, going back and forth and back and forth. Might just continue like this for an extended period of time. All right, guys, that's it for this one. Once again, thank you all so much for listening. Please have a great day. I'll see you guys very soon, and peace out.